What's up, you guys? It's Random Hunter here, and today we're going to be reviewing the Marvel Diamond Select Silver Centurion Iron Man. Now, I'm not sure if I pronounced that right or if I did, but anyways, let's get into this review video. So, as you see, just by looking at the figure from the box, you could already tell it's going to be an amazing figure. But let's focus about that later, and let's focus more on how the packaging looks and how it is. And just looking at the box, you can see a nice little sticker of Iron Man and his name and the company, Marvel Diamond Select. Turning it towards the right, you get a nice little picture of the figure itself posed, but you don't really get to see the full figure, just kind of like a little tiny panel of him. As you guys can see, the price tag is still on it because it's a very recent figure that I just recently bought. But the place I got it from, if some of you are wondering, is Forbidden Planet. I highly recommend it. It's a very good store. It's located in New York, Manhattan. For those of you that lived in the area, I highly prefer that you go if you're a collector like me. Here on the back of the box, we get some promo pictures and, again, the name and the company. But we get this little blurb, way more than what the Marvel Legend blurbs say. It says, genius billionaire philanthropist Tony Stark's confidence is only matched by his high-flying abilities as the hero called Iron Man. Having created a wondrous suit of armor to keep himself alive, Tony has revised it dozens of times, each version with increased capabilities, faster operation, reduced energy usage, and adaptive to the greatest threats the universe has to offer. Before we get into the figure, we're going to be taking a close look at his accessories and how detailed they are. Everything else is moved to the side. Now, let's take a close look at each pair of hands. Taking a closer look into the palms, you can see that nice bright and red shiny paint. Me personally, I love it, but I don't really have the best history with Diamond Select Iron Man's, as the paint always chips. Not because I'm a bad collector, but I guess it's just something with Diamond Select. Comment down below if you have that problem too, so I don't feel like I'm left out. But as you can see, they have a lot of detail in both the fingertips and in the palm of the hand, where they actually painted the little repulsor circle and added way more detail in both the guard around the hand and in the fingers. As you see, they have the little finger creases for him able to bend his arm and his fingers. But I like these set of hands a lot. Not really a set of hands that I might use a lot, really. I collect, but they look really detailed overall. And I give this like set of hands at least like a 2 out of 5. Not really a set of hands I would really be using. As we see in the more of the gripping pair of hands, you can see there's not a lot going on here. Kind of the same as the last pair of hands or set of hands, just with the fingers a little bit more crease. But I will say that the joint right here that allows you to bend his wrist down is a bit like tight, and I don't really like that because either tightness in the little joints could lead to looseness or stiffness, and I don't really like feel safe trying to move it or like kind of pry it into a sort of position that I shouldn't be in. But other than that, it's not really like something that I will be using at all. These might just stay in my little accessory box because I have no use for these type of hands. I rarely use kind of like grabbing hands. I always use relaxed hands or punching hands. I give these set of hands at least 1 out of 5. Moving on to these shooting hands. Now, I'm not sure what Diamond Select was thinking because before I recorded this bit, I paid a little bit more attention to the hands. They gave me 2 right hands. Look, pay attention. That's 1 right hand. That's another right hand. 2 right hands. I mean, sure, if I lose one, I'll always have a right one. But how would I be able to use this on my figure? Man. And I love these accessories a lot. Like, I was really going to put these on my figure. But now that I know it's only like 2 right hands, I don't feel like I'm going to be using them. But let's forget about that. Let's look into the detail. Looking into the hands, you can see how it has a lot of the fist hands. More of a clenched grip though. And there's a little bit of less detail on the palm as it's like more cramped. But looking into the like kind of like see-through piece, you can see a nice kind of see-through or kind of like faded yellow into this kind of like white blast. Now, I don't know whether these are like some rapid fire blast or just like a sort of beam, like the repulsor pieces, but overall, these pieces look nice. I sure will be only using one of these hands because I'm not gonna put a right hand on the left arm. So only one of these is gonna be used. But other than that, I love these accessories. So I get them like a 4 out of 5. Moving on to the final pair of hands, we got the repulsor blasting hands. Now these did come a little bent on both pieces, as you see. It's like a little tiny bend right there. This one is more noticeable in clearly, but other than that, the piece looks great. I love that comic book kind of repulsor color on it. But one thing I noticed on one of the hands is they kind of it's loose. Like if you hold on, let me set my camera out. It's kind of loose because if you move it, it's more wider here. As you can see, it's kind of like separated from both of the wrists. So if I try to pose it, it's gonna like move down. It wiggles too much. As you see how it's wiggling, it's too loose for me to add on my figure. But if I'm gonna have to keep it in place, I might have to add like a little bit of sticky tack or sticky putty to keep it in there. But enough of that. It's kind of the same thing as the relaxed hands. If you pay close attention, you see a lot of the relaxed hands in this type of figure. I mean, in these type of set of hands. But anything other different is just a repulsor blast. But I really love the piece though, and it does come off. Oh, as I was saying before, I launched the repulsor piece off this desk. They do come off, and you notice the bend a little more, but you notice the detail a little bit more after it's off the hand. You can see how it's kind of like a bent, like cause like it's gonna be blasting up, I think. But you can see how it starts off like a bright blue here, and then as it goes on, it's leading into this kind of like more faded and more clearer blue. I really love the detail on this repulsor blast. It's more detailed than we'll ever get to see from a Marvel Legends Iron Man figure, in my opinion. But the same thing on the other one, except the joint isn't really like this one hand. It's more tighter and it's more easier to put on the figure. But yeah, I give this set of hands a solid 5 out of 5. So enough of that. We're gonna be moving on to the head sculpts and a little bit more of the blast pieces. Taking a look at the rest of the blast pieces, you can see how he has these little pieces that could stick under his feet. Sadly, as I was taking them off the figure, this little peg that's supposed to go into the boot kind of got stuck in his foot. So now I'm gonna have to try and figure out how to be able to take that peg out and try and reattach it so I could use it. But yeah, looking into these little like blast off pieces, you can see how it has like a nice kind of orange, a light type of orange in the beginning, and then it goes into a darker as he's flying up. These pieces are very detailed. I think I've seen the same color scheme of blast pieces in the War Machine Marvel Legends that just came out, the comic book one to be exact. I'm gonna put an image up on screen. That one right there. You can see how it has like a little bit more of an orange type of color to it, more than these ones, a little bit more brighter. But these ones look really nice. They look really identical to the War Machine ones as I was talking about. But I love the detail on this. You can see a lot of the creases and bumps from the blast off. But other than that, these pieces look really great. I love these pieces. Only if it didn't break, I'd be way more hyped about it. Like way, 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 way more hyped. But kind of turned down my mood that this broke. But what can I do about it? The most I can do is try and take out the peg, try and stick it back on with some hot glue or super glue. But let's forget about these pieces a bit. Let's look at this one. Now, a lot of you may be wondering what this part is because like it's not a piece that we've seen before on Marvel Legend, nor Diamond Select. But this piece is the chest blast piece. This, like the emblem of his chest, the what's it called again? I know what it's called. It's somewhere in the back of my. It's somewhere in the back of my mind. I swear I've seen it. The arc reactor. Yeah, his arc reactor. The arc reactor comes off his chest, and you could be able to replace this and stick it on, and then it looks like he's blasting a nice purple or kind of a faded red blast out. Now I think it's more of like a pink lemonade type of color, and then it turns into like a nice see-through red right here as it's heating up. But in the light, it just looks amazing. As you see, it has like a nice little crystallized glow into it, and you can see it's like mostly see-through, but kind of faded into it too. I'm gonna attach this on the figure later into the video to see how we could pose it, or how it is with the articulation added on the figure. But other than that, this piece, I really love it. This is a piece that I've never have seen on a figure of Iron Man before. But other than that, a solid 5 out of 5 on this piece. So far, this figure, just from accessories, is already surprising me. And I don't want to be glazing, but so far, Diamond Select is starting to become my new favorite band. But, Marvel Legends my company, so I'm going to stick with that. But now, we're going to be moving on to the head sculpts. Let's zoom in a little on the head sculpts. As we see, here we have a nice little helmet head sculpt. Now, I don't know what this piece is. I feel like it's kind of like night vision or x-ray vision on the head. I like how it has this little flap up, so it can make it seem like it's popping out and then immediately attaching onto the eyes. We get the same thing as the rest of the body. A nice metallic figure, but under it, this peg is different, I haven't seen this on like any Marvel Legends where it's like a separate type of peg itself. But other than that, the inside detail looks great, and you can see how much detail they added on the mouth. A little bit of paint smudge on the mouth right here, as you can see, it has like a little bit of metallic red on it. Once you focus it into the light, like right there, you can see it's most definitive there. But you don't really see it a lot, so I don't think it's gonna be that much of a defect on it. But other than that, it looks really great. Now, into the Tony Stark face. Now, the Tony Stark face itself is just amazing. The amount of detail they added into his eyes, the beard, and his hairline. I love like this head sculpt itself, because it really brings the comic to life, where it has his underbags, a nice red type of color on him, and then the hair, they just added so much detail on it. They made it really look like that kind of 80s type of haircut for Tony Stark, with a little swoosh on the side, going push to the left. He does have a middle part, and overall, that head sculpt looks nice, but I like the helmet piece a little more, because it really looks more better. If it was more like a see-through type of plastic on the green piece, it would be amazing, but it's a little bit too much to ask of Diamond Select. Now looking at the figure itself, as you see, I propped him up on the stand. I was having a little bit of trouble trying to get him balanced, so I had to bring out the nice stand. Helped me a lot. He's very balanced now. But looking at the figure, we get to see how much better he looks in person and out of packaging. His top body's kind of like crooked. I don't know how to fix that without trying to make it loose. But other than that, the figure looks amazing. As you see, the boots have the nice metallic red paint like it is all over the body, but the legs are kind of more of like a matte silver type of paint. I don't know, but this figure looks great overall. But on the hands, there's like a little bit of chipping, yeah, right here. There's a lot of chipping in that hand area. I don't know how, but I think it's just because it's kind of peeling off. I'm trying not to move that joint a lot either, because I don't want it to chip anymore. But other than that, the rest of the figure looks great. As we turn it around, we get to see a little bit of the detail on the back. Hold up. As we turn it around, we get the same as the front, except there's like a little peg for like that. I'm not gonna use that, but in the back there's a bunch more stuff. The paint is also chipping there. I don't know how it happened, but I'm trying to move that joint a lot either. I'm trying to keep it in one position. But then on the back we have this little type of like backpack. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure if it helps him fly or something like that, or if it helps with like the weapon system. I'm a little bit confused on why that's there. But as we turn the figure back on to get a closer look at the front, I was talking about how this piece disconnects and how it goes on there. So after it disconnects, I'm just taking it off. I'm doing this one-handed, so I'll just lay him down. So after you pop it off, this just comes off. Then then this part seems to attach right here. And like that, you have a little blasting piece. Now that I really like. So for the articulation, I did kind of have to like put myself into like a kind of angle where the camera can see me so I can show you it completely and good. Oop. No! I just dropped the upholstery piece. Never mind. Got it. But, yeah, I'm going to be showing you guys the articulation. So, as we see here, he does have that one jointed elbow. Doesn't really bend up all the way due to the bicep and the guard around his wrist and forearm. But it does go all the way back at 360. Oh, never mind. Hold on. Yeah, 360. It bends at a 90-degree angle. The wrist does have some motion, so it goes a little bit. It goes a little bit more back right there, as you see, like that. Forward, it could go a little bit more, like that. Same for the other arm. Rotation goes a little. The wrist joint goes back more, goes in more. Same for the arm. This arm's kind of loose. I don't know how, but it does do the full 360 turn, and then the 90-degree angle with the one jointed elbow. And with the legs, same thing, not double jointed, but so it's nice. It's a bit stiff, so I'm not gonna try and move it that much. I don't want it to snap on camera and then that be the video. So I think the other leg has a bit more. It's a bit more easier. Yeah, it is a bit more easier to move up. So it can only go up so much, so it kind of leaves him as like a walking stance, kind of, as you can see. But the thighs, they do have kind of like a joint that allows it to turn around all the way, as you see it. And then for the wrist, waist. For the waist, there's no articulation in the waist like you would see in a Marvel Legend with the ab crunch or waist. But there is an ab crunch, doesn't really go down that much. It barely goes down, you barely notice it. It goes up a little bit before the backpack stops it. And the head does turn a whole 362. It could look up like a little. It's looking up somewhat, but then once you put it down, it doesn't really have that much head rotation upwards or downwards. I want to see if it kind of like tilts his head. He tilts his head a bit more than what he could turn it up, and that's not bad. Again, with the other side, he is able to turn it, so that's how it is. And other than that, that's really it for the articulation. So this is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the review a lot. I know it was a little bit rushed, or I was talking a bit too fast. That's on me, but this might be the only video I might be able to post this week because I'm gonna be busy. But I will for sure be posting in the next 1 or 2 weeks. That's a promise. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and comment down below which figure you would like me to review next. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification button and that like button. Random Hunter out.